In India's strong economic growth, is India leading the growth story among the world's major economies. Do you know that while the global economy is facing several uncertainties, conflicts, high energy prices, and the trade related challenges, India continues to maintain a strong economic growth rate. In today's video, we will understand how strong is India's economy, how does Indian growth compare with the China and the United States, what does this economic growth mean for an ordinary Indian, and why is the financial planning still important. Point 2. IMS important forecast. According to the IMS July 2026 World Economical Outlook updates, in India's real GDP growth increases for 2026 6.4%. On China's growth forecast 4.6%. This means that according to the IMF forecast, India's economic growth is expected to be significantly higher than China's. Indian growth is being supported particularly by the private consumption and services activities. And the point 3, the consumption, the comparison with the United States. Now let us look at the United States. According to the IMF 2026 assessment, the US's economical may grow by approximately 2.4% on the quarter 4 and to the quarter 4 basis. So there is a clear difference between India 6.4%, United States approximately 2.4%. However, one important point must be understood. A higher GDP growth rate does not mean that a country is automatically the largest and the richest economy in the world. The growth rates tell us how quickly economy is expanding. Point number 14. What does the World Bank say? Now let us look at the World Bank. According to the World Bank's April 2026 India Development Updates, India's economic growth in the financial year 2026 was 7.6%. This was higher than the 7.1% growth recorded in the financial year 2025. The World Bank describes India as the fastest growing major economical in financial year 2026. This is the certainty and important achievement for India. And point number 5, what about financial year 2027? However, some moderation in the growth is expected. The World Bank projection for financial year 2027 is around 6.6%, and some factors that could affect future growth included international economical uncertainties, geographical conflicts, and the higher energy prices, supply chain disruptions, changes in the global trade. Even so, a growth rate of around 6.6% was still representing the strong growth for the largest economical like India. And the point 6, what is the driving Indian growth? There is several important factors behind the India's economic growth. For the strong domestic demand, India's largest domestic market provides a strong foundation for economical activities. And the second, the service sector, the IT, digital services, financial services, and other services activities are important contributions to the Indian economy. And the third, the manufacturing. India is also benefiting from the increasing the manufacturing activities and the global supply chain diversifications. Point 7, the Indian economical safety concerns. India has also several macroeconomical strains, and this included the substantial foreign exchange reserves, a relatively stable financial system, and the strong domestic demand, and the diversified economy, and the microeconomic policy buffer. These factors can help India in the manage external economical shocks more effectively. And the point 8, but there are still challenges. Absolutely, India does still face several challenges. The energy prices, higher international crude oil and emergency price can increase India important bill and the created inflationary pressure. And the global conflicts, the international conflicts can affect the global trade and supply chains and the global demand. If demand fails to major global markets, Indian exports could also be affected. Employment, along with economic growth, the creating the sufficient productive employment opportunities remain extremely important. Point number 9, a very important misconception. There is important distinctions we need to understand. India is the fastest growing major economy. does not mean that India has already become the world's largest and richest economy. GDP growth rate on the GDP side are two different things. Growth rate tells us how quickly an economy is growing, and GDP size tell us how large economically is, and to understand the people's standards of living. Indicators such as the pre-rapid capita income are also important. Point number 10, India has a big opportunities. India has several major opportunities ahead. For example, manufacturing, digital economical, infrastructure, services, and domestic consumption. If these areas continue to develop, the Indian economical potential could become even stronger, but economical growth must also be accompanied by the quality employment, productivity, skill development, and inclusive growth. Point number 11, what does this mean for ordinary Indians? Now the important question, what does Indian economical growth mean for you and me? A strong economy can potentially create the more important opportunities, increase the business activities, improve the infrastructure, create the new industries, and increase the opportunities for household income. But an individual financial success does not depend only on the country of GDP growth. It also depends on the income, savings, protection, investment, and retirement planning. And therefore, along with economical growth, personal financial planning is equally important. We have point 12, the connecting economical growth with the financial planning. In India's economical continues to grow over the long term. New opportunities may emerge for business, investor, and household. But remember, economical growth is never granted for investment return. Before making an investment decision, consider what are your financial goals, what is the investment time horizon, how much risk can you take, is your insurance protection adequate, have you planned properly for retirement. This is why goal-based financial planning is so important. Point number 13, finally, the final summary. So what have you lived or learned today? According to the IMF study, July 2026 forecast, in India 6.4% growth in 2026, on China 4%, 6%, US and the United States approximately 2.4% to quarter four basis, and according to the World Bank, the India's financial year 2026 growth 7.6%, and financial year 2027 projection 6.6%. Indian growth story. In the growth story, therefore, remain highly important in the global economical discussion, but alongside the country's economical growth, we must also plan for our own financial future. And the point 14, strong closing measures. Indian economy is growing, but is your wealth growing in the right direction? You cannot control Indian GDP growth, but you can control how you plan for your income, your protection, your investment, your children's future, and your retirement. So start thinking about your financial wealth and financial future today. This video is for educational and information purpose only. It should not be considered a recommendation to buy, sell, or invest in my specific financial product or security. Before making an investment decision, consider your financial goal, risk profile, and investment horizon, and suitability. Where the appropriate, seek advice from a properly regulated financial professional. And if you want to learn more about the Indian economy, the investment awareness, and the financial planning, please subscribe to the Dream Achiever HPS Group or YouTube channel. If you found this video useful, please like, share, and subscribe. I am Hindal Bhattacharya, CFP and founder of HPS Group, and my mobile number 9830548558. My email address lic.hindolhps@gmail.com. Stay informed, stay financially prepared, and build a strong financial future. Thank you very much.